Dr.C Velan is the head office of CapitaLand, one of the Asia's largest diversified real estate group. Headquartered and listed in Singapore, it owns and manages a global portfolio worth 134.7 billion as of 30th June 2020. He has the Tamil Nadu Operation and based out of the capital city Chennai. Prior to this, he was a chief executive officer of TRIL INFOPARK Limited. And also in Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation, Velan has instrumental in implementing and developing the Ramanujan IT City as an information technology special economic zone situated at OMR in Chennai, India, with 4.7 million square feet operational space. He holds a doctorate in civil engineering, specializing in the environment from Dr. MGR Education and Research Institute and a master degree in human resource management, personal administration from the University of Madras. So help me to welcome Mr. C. Velan. Okay, thank you for joining in, Mr. Velan. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to put you on this spot. I hope it will be interesting communication and there will be a lot to offer for the audience. So my first question is, would you like to share something about your journey?
Sure. Priya, it is really nice of you for giving me this opportunity to share some of my experiences. Yes. Okay. I'm basically a real estate professional for the last 20 years. Yeah. And before that, I was in various projects and manufacturing industries and almost about 34 years of experience I have as of date, sure, post-qualification. Right. What happened actually is that I was all along in the projects, developing major factories, real estate, sphere, and many other residential complexes and all as a project manager. Sure. And later on, when I joined, I can put it a little bit in context to my organization also. When I entered the real estate, I entered in the right location in Chennai, which was the first time I entered into real estate in year 2000. I was with the CB Richard Ellis for about 3.5 years. Wow. That was a time the real estate picked up in India in the year 2000, I can say. Yeah. I was on the right time I joined the real estate segment. Before that, I was in various industries, actually. Right. So when I worked in a premium project at that time, it was Title Park in Chennai, first IT park in Chennai. Sure. So I was associating with that development and operations and all. Later on, I joined a very good group where I'm also right now associating, which is called Ascendus, which is a Singapore-based organization. Yeah. I worked with them for about 5 years, and then I resigned and joined the Tata Group for a flagship project, which I will talk during my conversation also, which is called Ramanujan IT City. I developed about 6 million square feet of campus, and I worked for them. Yeah, from day one to...
That is a very interesting project I heard. Would you like to explain a bit on that?
Yes, Ramanujan IT City, actually, we started that project in the year 2009, actually, in Chennai. It is located exactly in the central part of Chennai, actually, IT corridor of Chennai. And it's 4.7 million square feet of office space with 3 million square feet of parking below, covered parking, etc. So very good project where it is a IGBC platinum level certified campus, where about almost 53,000 people are working in about 25 acres of campus. It means you need to have work, live, play environment. That is the typical case study which I have created. Fantastic experience. That's my lifetime experience, I can put it, actually one of the best projects. And it is the highest rent yielding asset across India in terms of IT special economic zone, IT office space. So very good project.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of development happen in past couple of decades in terms of IT parks and business parks, and amazing to see that a lot of talents working at one place and convenience and the facilities which is coming up to the India. It's amazing to see the growth there in that sector, isn't it?
Yes, of course. So to give you some statistics, in India, if you look at in 2 decades, I can put it that the volume of space, commercial space in India is about 638 million square feet, actually.
Right.
Commercial office alone. And an average about 30 to 37 million square feet is getting developed, and almost 37 to 40 million square feet of occupancy is also happening for the last 4-5 years. This is an average absorption status actually. And it is a fantastic, India is having, and more specifically, if you ask me, the IT sector is driving the commercial sector growth.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's really interesting to see the growth and contribution it is doing towards the economy and creating all that corridor infrastructure, civil construction industry is going on the boom. It's amazing experience, in my lifetime to see the way we are growing on it. In this time, how do you see this pandemic is affecting of all that growth we have been actually seeing so far in last 2 decades?
You are very right. In fact, we were seeing this, that's what I was saying. Last 5 years alone, if you look at it, that the supply used to be around 37 million, absorption used to be the same kind of thing. That's how it was going on. But suddenly, the pandemic, the Q1 itself, in March, we got that, the COVID impact.
Yeah.
Till the time I can say 2020 March, that is first quarter, we can take it up. The supply was almost 13 million and absorption was also 11 million in the first quarter. But the vacancy was almost 16%. However, post-pandemic experience, in quarter two onwards, most of the commercial real estate decisions by that occupiers, the units, IT companies or any other office occupiers, they have put a pause to that.
Yeah.
There is a pause.
I can imagine, because I think all of us has been told if you can work from home, then it's an opportunity for companies to hold on that kind of expenses, and it's a kind of cycle effect.
You are very right, actually. You are very right. Because the work from home is currently, yes, there is something on the safety side, individual employee safety side that is happening.
Yeah.
Yes, that is also one of the reasons they are passing this particular decision immediately.
Yeah. And do you see the whole, like malls and commercial buildings, more into the retail sector is impacted the highest, especially in India?
I can put it to you, the answer you into two parts.
Sure.
Not only the retail, but also on the hospitality side.
Sure.
Because, see, I'm associating with the CapitaLand right now. Ascendas again, I joined back Ascendas. We are predominantly into office segment, retail segment, and the hospitality segment, besides industrial parks. But since you asked about retail segment is the worst affected segment.
Yeah.
And as much as hospitality sector, I can say. Certainly retail sector has got a lot of impact during this last 2 quarters. Yes.
Yeah. Like I was recently talking to a guy who is working in the tourism sector, and he says it's like in US, according to one stats, like every $1 a tourist is spending, it actually creates the $12 of revenue, right? So it's actually going to affect the similar pattern. If like one sector is actually affected, the other sectors are definitely going to affect, especially the dependent one. And I'm sure retail industry is one of the dependent one on the lot of footwalks and people visiting on mall, and buying things around. It's going to definitely affect them if it is a shutting down and in a close time. What do you think about it?
You are very, very right. In fact, there is a terminology called window shopping, right?
Yeah.
See, when the malls are open, people at least go for moving around the mall and watching movies. And in the process, they will also do some shopping, or they go for shopping and do that watching movie and other entertainment, restaurants and all. Suppose in this particular scenario, people are not moving in to the malls. The malls, even though it is open in the recent past, the footfalls are not even 5 to 10%, which is very, 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 a serious one for the retail business.
Yeah, and definitely it will affect your hospitality industry as well, because like a lot of malls are actually associated with this kind of a lot of hospitality industry related actions. Yeah,
exactly.
As we are growing, I'm
Right.
seeing that the hotels are actually going into big malls. And if it is whole mall is closed, rest all is closed,
Yeah, you are very right. And at the same time, there is also always when we talk about this, there is also another sector which is providing some sort of benefit also, getting benefit also is you know that,
Yeah.
e-business, right? And
Yeah.
that is definitely is going to be the future. Yeah.
Yeah. So footfall is definitely affecting. And do you see any light and tunnel in any time soon? Because I think India is working too hard to get the vaccine, any sorts of vaccine. Recovery rate is comparison to the Western world is actually much better to Indian society, maybe because of the immune power system, or, we have already faced a lot of pandemic and we were much more prepared. Considering tuberculosis and all is still there in our country, and we still survive with that. So do you think this is actually, we can see any light in tunnel in the anytime soon?
I can answer you very openly because I'm experiencing it
Yes,
in
that's
India
right.
itself. In India itself, if you look at next to Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai was the maximum affected in terms of COVID. Every day there used to be thousands of cases. But if you look at it, the way that the immunity, we call it as for the individuals, and the proactive measures, and the people are also more conscious actually on the hygiene front and safety front and all those factors. I am seeing there is a serious recovery from that particular pandemic situation. Now that entire malls, everything is open, offices are open, 100% people can go and work even if it's not so. But I am seeing there is certainly going to be a kind of a comforting situation very soon, very soon. If not immediate, but at least in the next 3 to 4 months, it will be normal. That's what my opinion is.
Yeah, and I feel like our culturally situation, the way culturally people are interacting with each other, it's like a habit. If we don't have that kind of a population, we will be like staying apart from the people anyway.
Exactly, and more interestingly, I like other Western countries. India is also socially connected. The people are socially connected, actually.
Yeah.
So it is all the more important that they have to move into the office, they have to move into relatives, they have to move into functions, and that is going to be definitely a need. And it is going to, that is also adding the responsibility for the public to be more cautious. So
Yeah.
I think I'm seeing that the positivity, and at the same time, if the vaccine comes in, and the medicine is going to be out in the market, then we are completely going to be bouncing back into normal.
Yeah. So in your rich and interesting presentation at the ANG India Business Chamber, in our last one, I observed that while there is a slowdown in the industry real estate, there are a number of other factors which will outweigh them, like the growth of the e-commerce sector and the demand of warehousing, and the expansion of the manufacturing sector and ever increasing per capita income is the huge headroom it creates for more consumption and demand. Do you feel these will be a prevail to have a positive impact on commercial real estate in the long run?
I can put it like this. Obvious reasons, India has a huge population, 1.3 billion actually. There is a strong fundamentals of the country actually. The per capita income, as you rightly mentioned, is also known. The government's target to increase manufacturing contribution to GDP from 16.8% to 25%. And there are also a lot of incentives which are going to be, are already there in India, is that the corporate tax has been reduced to 17.16%, which is the lowest compared to China, Japan, Vietnam, any country you talk about it. And all the more important, the e-commerce, as you rightly mentioned, which has become a habit. In this particular period itself, the people started going for e-commerce, the online shopping, everything. So I think this is going to provide lots of opportunities for that industrial warehousing. The warehousing is all the more important for e-commerce kind of thing. That they have to store and supply and all those things. That the warehousing
so logistic will definitely improve.
Huge potential. Yes, you are.
So we also see that large business houses and even multinational corporations are today active players in the commercial business space. This is welcomed by the investor because of the sense of safety and quality it provides to the investment. Government is actually working very hard on that. The very successful Ramanujan IT City in Chennai, which you connected, was associated with the Tata Group, right?
Yes.
You are now associated with an even larger group based in the Singapore and is spread across several countries with hundreds of projects. Is the industry seeing a phase of consolidation with the smaller players slowly leaving the space? What's your take on it?
To be a little more blunt in answering to this, yes, consolidation is happening. Certainly, it is going to be further continuing for whatever the practical purposes. It is order of the day today. However, I can also say that it is also providing an opportunity for the end users, because many of the organized corporates, if they are coming up with a specific style of product and services, it is going to benefit the end users on the long run, actually.
Yeah.
So all the more important is that having optimal cost of operations, having hygiene, safety, and all those things ensured for their employees coming to that office to work and go back. These are all assured by the organized developers, and certainly this is going to be very helpful for the end users going forward.
So in property, mainly helpful for the all sorts of users for sure. So property traditionally has been a preferred investment for the middle class in India. I mean, it's a common practice. We all want to make a property before we invest in anything. However, with the current uncertainty, many are shifting to investment in the stock market and gold. Do you see this as a welcome trend? Mindset is changing?
I can put it like this. You have to see that into two different angles. One is what is going to be my short-term protection of my resources and long-term plan for my resources. The people whomever is looking at buying the asset, yes, there used to be for investment reasons also people used to buy the assets, flats, plots or ground, whatever you can call it as actually. It used to be the practice. Yes, of course you are right. However, in the current situation, all the more important is that they have to protect their resources so that where and all they can able to pump in that cost of whatever the resources they have. Is one is that, as you rightly mentioned, putting into gold or putting into stock markets, or it is also doing very well now, right? That is attraction. That is for short term. In my view, that is for the short term. But always investing on the land or the property is always an attraction in India. And that is for sure, because there is a short term and mid term, long term. If you look at it, short term maybe whatever that result they are pumping to that kind of investments like stocks and all. Medium term, they will go for this looking at the assets and buy it out. And the long term is obvious reasons that they go with the business. That's how Indian mindset works actually.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any upcoming international project coming up? You have something to share?
International?
Yeah. So you are also exploring, your company is also exploring somewhere in other places, or you guys are only focusing on India right now?
No, basically CapitaLand is such a large company. I can put it as Asia's largest real estate player in terms of commercial, industrial, this market, right?
Yeah.
And right now, the focus of the group is more towards this kind of countries. Like their exposure is almost 60% in China, 27% in Singapore, and the rest is from other countries. Now that the focus is to double that revenue and the profitability and all in India and other countries. Obvious reason they are going to expand into various other countries, and more towards in India they are having serious focus to the extent of doubling that portfolio size within next 5 years. So it is going to grow in India at least.
Yeah, for sure.
And they are having huge growth plans, CapitaLand, with the
good to know. I'm very much into the growth, revenue growth plan, and my whole business model is based on that, maturation model and all. So I'm a big fan of it. And when I see the company growth, I'm like, since I met you last time, I started following your work recently. Okay. So I'm really keen to see how company is growing. Very interesting. I would love to know if you have anything to share to the audience and you want them how to find them. And do you want to say something to the audience specifically and how they can find you?
One more important thing actually is that wherever you are going to look at your assets or your working space and all those things. Today there are a lot of touchless solutions which are being brought in for the safety of the employees as well as for the convenience reasons. Look at the assets where you are 100% ensured with the safety. Choose the asset and move into the asset for your working or living or whatever other means. Number one. Number two, if you are serious in investing, and this is the time the government in India is also promoting a lot of incentives in that home buyers and all those things, and the price and all that those things are at the manageable level right now. Investing in the residential assets and other things are also at the right time to do that. Number three is that basically, whatever you do things differently. Whether you are going to be the person in the professional side, or you are in the developer side, or you are into any other side. If you are not going to be different from your competitors, you are not going to win the race. So be doing different things important, but at the same time, do things differently is going to be the serious lesson for us at this point of time. Follow it up, whatever you are into, whichever field you are into, follow that, do things differently, make you successful.
Yeah, and that's the one which brings you actually out to stand you, and you can actually follow through your future. You can see with that actually difference, not only being like you have to merge, but you have to be different as well at the same time.
Very correct, Rekha. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Really appreciate your time. And it was really nice discussion. I hope we will continue our discussion another time, but it was really interesting and valued communication today.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Rekha. Really appreciate it. And I value this time, whatever we have spent. Thank you. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Rekha. Thank you, Priya. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.